I believe that the role of the youth in curbing corruption is to, first of all, educate ourselves and also find facts and figures before we, suspect people to be corrupt. I therefore recall that we had an encounter with the first deputy speaker. He said we shouldn't always say that people are corrupt without having facts and figures behind our claim. So we should, first of all, know what we are saying, not just trying to perceive or try to read meanings into the actions of public officers. As well as youth, we shouldn't also try to harbor issues of our, people who are within our parties, trying to be favoritism. That so far as it's coming from my party, I wouldn't try to expose the corrupt practices of such a person. We shouldn't, be favoritism in our dealings. We shouldn't favor people because they are coming from our party. We should put the country and its development at heart and try to execute our responsibilities as responsible citizens in fighting corruption.
I've always had the resilient conviction that Africa needs a well-informed youth that are mavericks, weirdos, crazy out-of-the-box thinking radicals who do not just, not passively to retrogressive norms, construct, but then boldly question leadership. One of the major roles we can play as youth in the fight against corruption is asking questions. We need to always ask questions. How was this done? And why was it done this way? With this, we'll be able to know the reasons why certain decisions were made. So the youth needs to ask questions. They don't just have to nod passively to retrogressive norms and constructs. In the exception of that, one of the things the youth, I believe, can do in the fight against corruption is education. What is education? The process of learning geared towards advising the individual to achieve a specific aim or objective. So one of the very things as the youth can do in the fight against corruption is try to educate the populace what to do and not what to do. When we came here, we were asked some few questions. What are some of the corrupt practices in Ghana? Somebody made mention of you going to the DVLA, for instance. You are not given a receipt, you go away, you help that person to, loot and share, people get the money and they pocket them. You're also helping to create corruption. So what we need to do as the youth is to educate each other on why we need to take receipts, why we need to question people, why, for instance, I'm just using the receipt scenario here to make things clearer, why you do something sometimes and you don't really get the feedback that you need. Another thing we also need to consider here is advocacy. Advocacy is the way to go as a youth. We can all come up together, perhaps put together pressure groups, start making noise on the need or the reasons why we think this corruption has a canker. One of the very things I think a youth can also do is to try to advise the populace that corruption is indestructible. What it simply means is corruption is more like diabetes. It can never be eliminated, but then it can be confined.